All right, everybody. Welcome to this impromptu live stream we're going to be doing with Casey, the car guy, Putsch. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Casey, obviously you're not following my X account because I've been tweeting about him. He's actually going head to head with Vivek Ramaswamy in the Republican primary for governor of Ohio. So finally, we have a white man who's actually in the race. So, of course, the Republicans are not standing behind him. Of course, right? Because we have been bought out and hollowed out. So, just going to give everybody a couple minutes to get in here, and then I'm going to bring Casey up on the platform. Thank you guys for tuning in. I've been on the road, so I haven't been able to do any live streams. Apologize, everyone, but I'm back. And we're going to be doing some regular live streams. So this first hour is going to be public. And then after the first hour, it's going to be members only through my website. And we're going to talk about the infamous song at the club on a boys' night out and why everybody's freaking out. So if you want to see that, use your website, leonardaisfunny.com. I'll put up a banner and sign up for the membership because I am not going to be doing that on my YouTube channel for obvious reasons, folks. All right, Casey, are you ready to get on stage? Can you hear me? I don't know if he can hear me. Let's see.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Right. Here we go. Yes.
You got me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I had to go to the backup.
Oh, got it. I think I'm getting an echo. So do you have it playing out of your computer too?
I don't. No, it's not playing out of the computer, and I apologize. I think it's this streaming service does some funky stuff. Is the audio just really terrible?
No, but I can hear myself. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
The audio's loud. Let me see what's going on here. I can hear.
Should-
I'm getting the echo when I talk to you.
That's weird because I'm listening to you on my earbuds, and then that should be the mic. It's not playing on my computer.
Let's try this. Okay, you want to start talking?
Yeah, can you hear me? Is it still echoing?
I can hear you. You're not
Yeah.
the one who's echoing. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me see. No,
Yep, still talking.
And I talk. Like I can hear it in my background.
I hear a little bit. Yeah.
Do you want to come out and then come back in?
We can try it.
Let's try it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Sorry about it. We know I'm not very tech savvy, so this is probably on me. And I'm super late to figuring out how to do this. Yeah, I know it was bad audio. Casey sounded fine. I don't know. What do I sound like, guys? What's the sound like coming out here? Good? Not good? Let's see. Casey's back. Let's see if this is going to work.
How about that? Better?
No, I
No.
see it real weird. You want to try unplugging your headphones?
Yeah. Sorry about it. Let me.
Let's see. Yeah, but now there's no sound for you. You might want to check your mic settings. Okay, I can hear you. Oh, let's see. Got something. Let's see.
Okay. Does that sound better at all?
Oh, this is so much better. That's so much better. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Welcome
Look at me.
to the show, Casey.
Thanks. It's cold out and I look like a nerd. I've got glasses on because I haven't slept enough campaigning and all, but it's worth it. So
I think you're fine. You know, as long as you don't magically show up looking like an Indian, I think everybody's going to be fine. So
I'm wearing shoes.
it's already going better. Already.
Yeah, indeed.
So real quick, I do want to say any super chats that come in are going to be donated to your campaign. Casey.
Awesome.
So
Thank
everybody
you.
who's got super chats today, you guys can't hear me. I'll fix my volume. But if you guys do any super chats, it's going to get donated to Casey, and you guys are going to find out exactly why we want Casey to be our governor in Ohio. I don't even live in Ohio. I never planned on moving to Ohio. My whole goal is to destroy Vivek
It is amazing.
Mocks Americans. He has his only interest in being governor so that maybe down the road he can run for president. And in the meantime, he wants to bring in endless number of his ethnic compatriots from India
Yeah.
because, they don't have enough of them apparently here. Okay. So, yeah, so that's it. Casey, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you?
Well, yeah, thanks for having me. I grew up in Tiffin, Ohio, about 20,000 people, little town. Family business was a small town rural golf course. So, not super fancy like the Donald, but work hard, 6 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. Didn't go on vacations. So, it's kind of like being a farmer, but of grass and throwing parties every day. So, it's the same amount of hard work, if not more in some ways. But that was it. Entrepreneurs in that regard. Military men going back. My granddad was Battle of Okinawa, World War II. His younger brother was F-4 Phantoms in Vietnam, and then their dad, my great grandpa, was both World Wars, and then the dad before that was cavalry, still at the bugle from back when. So, just solid Americans that work hard and fight for the future, and I'm a product of that. Obviously, I'm a huge car guy. That's what I love. Always wanted to race. But I wasn't born wealthy, and believe it or not, that's really what you got to race. Professional racing's not really a professional sport. It's just called just pick your socioeconomic class and then choose the racing series you can afford. So I just build cars and occasionally go racing. Build a little business out of that, out of college. That's where I started building that Omega car, that high efficiency diesel car that you guys might have seen on Tucker Carlson early last year, back when I was just a normie before running for office. But it got over 100 miles a gallon. It has a lower carbon footprint per mile than an electric vehicle, even on straight diesel. Would be affordable, and it out accelerated my Viper, so it's pretty fast too. For the last 11 years, done a Genius Garage, which is a 501c3 public educational charity, and that's to pick up where the higher educational system in America sucks. So I mentor young students in engineering and fabrication. With doing professional level racing cars and building airplanes and mentoring them in automotive design. Somebody says this dude is a Zionist. That is not accurate in the chat. Anyway.
Not accurate, Crypto Chronics. Maybe you should do your research before you start throwing things out.
Yeah, that's funny.
Let me just show them your page. You can go check out Casey's YouTube page at Casey the Car Guy. And I'm pretty sure this is not a video of a Zionist right here. I'm just saying, pretty sure that is not a pro-Zio video.
Yeah.
So you guys should be careful. I know we're all very distrustful for good reasons because we've been lied to so much. But yeah, make sure you do your research before you guys start shouting all this stuff out.
Yeah.
I'm getting some feedback that you guys can't hear me very well.
Oh,
Let me see if
okay.
I could fix this real quick. Let's not do that.
You sound reasonable to me. There was like 1 minute for like 3 seconds. Your voice went down a little low, but it's okay.
Let's see. Everybody can hear me okay. Can you guys hear me?
That's super loud.
In. Okay. Perfect. All right, cool. Yeah. So, guys, go check out Casey's
Actually, you might want to turn that down a little bit. That's booming pretty good.
It's too loud now? Okay.
Yeah. Because you can project anyway.
How about now? Is that too loud now?
That's reasonable. Okay, command the room.
Cool. All right, thanks. All right, so I'll take that off. But everybody can go check out Casey's page, which I highly, highly suggest. Okay.
Yeah. So the Genius Garage thing was really important to me. I hated college. I didn't think it was good mentorship for the future. When you do something like that, an educational program for 11 years, and by the way, I don't get paid doing it. I actually got a Lifetime Achievement Award in Education from Trump back in 2018, which I kind of like to throw in Vivek's face because he got a tweet of Trump going, he's a swell guy. Yeah. He totally did a good job at Doge. He should be in Ohio. No, I actually got something from the Don for actually helping people for years and years in Ohio. So I like to think mine means more. But that's been awesome. The students in it didn't have to pay to be part of it because I go out and get the support, so effectively can give them full scholarship. And it's just what I thought needed to be done because the educational system sucks in America. When you do something like that for 10 years, you learn how the sausage is made, so to speak, and you kind of find everything wrong with the systems, whether it's government or society or educational systems. And you get to a point where you're just like, oh, we're so screwed. we got to do something about this, because I've really flipped over every stone with that. You know, and it is disheartening, but you just keep going. And
Yeah.
same thing with the car I did, that diesel car. You know, when you build something like that, especially when you get to the point to be able to speak about it on YouTube and Tucker Show and make a big thing of it, you see full circle how we're just not going anywhere as a society in terms of innovation and building that's actually good for people. Like, heaven forbid we actually have cars that the man can't shut off, that people can afford, that, you know, aren't horrible for the environment, like all the good things.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, because I want to make sure people catch that, because I don't think they get it.
Yeah.
So when people look around, they'll notice that we've been stagnating. I mean, first of all, people who've downloaded the new iOS software for the iPhone, I think it's like iOS 26, are all complaining about how horrible it is. So not only is it not going anywhere, but it's totally actually going backwards. And if you guys look, Apple has a bunch of H-1Bs working for them. So what a surprise, right? Innovation and technology and all of this creation stuff has been a fundamentally Western and Northern European phenomenon. And I am neither of those things. I am technically a Southern European. So I have no vested interest in saying this for like the supremacy supposedly of my people creatively. Like, it's just, you have to acknowledge what it is. It's Northern and Western European. That's what it is. And when you disenfranchise that specific group, and it's not just Northern and Western, it's Northern and Western European men predominantly. I think we could safely say, if we're being generous, it's at least 98%, right? And that is the group that has specifically been disenfranchised and kept from even regular positions of, working in these companies and of course politics, but never mind given any kind of support to innovate and create. And in fact, they seem to crush any kind of innovation and creation because they want to hold the standard, the status quo with whoever's in power at that time. And so, Casey, what you did was you designed a car, I believe, that could run on diesel. And how many, what was it? It could go across country in one tank?
Yeah, so the test tank I put in is only 5 gallons, but if I put a larger tank in at 35 gallons, which is a little bit big, I can easily drive from New York to California on that
in
tank.
One tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Legit. I mean, like, I tested it, real world testing. Like, you drive a certain distance and then you measure exactly the amount of ounces and you just do the math. Like, it's not like I ain't no rocket surgeon or math magician, but you could build a car that does pretty good if you just try. You know, like, not sounding dork, but
I'm sure you could build a car if you just try. We would still be commuting on foot if it came down to me, right?
Yeah. No, I get it. I like riding horses now and then too. Here's the car here, actually, for you guys to see.
Yeah, that's the car you built that could run 100 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
But no, I appreciate it. It was just, Obama was full of crap when he was running way back when, and I remember him saying at the DNC that I was stuck watching with friends that were enamored by him. That he was going to help Detroit retool so the fuel-efficient cars of tomorrow, or energy-efficient cars tomorrow, built here for the sake of the world and nation. And I'm like, that's BS. He's not going to do it. And so we bailed out the automotive industries during the financial crisis, and that ticked me off so much that when I was studying various materials and such, it just hit me. I'm like, there's a myriad of ways we could mass produce a more sustainably recyclable car that would be affordable and highly efficient, and safe and all that good things. So I did. And then I ended up sitting on it for 10 years because I didn't have a voice. I didn't really have any way to show it. And then, the year before last, when Trump and Kamala was running, I'm like, I got to speak out because I cannot handle the thought of a Kamala presidency and the shoving electric vehicles down our throat and mandating that, because it destroys innovation. It destroys tomorrow. And the electric vehicles, even more than that, there's other issues. Of course, they want them to be self-driving because that they can help more control you and where you go, how you charge it. It's just a slippery slope of full control. And of course, with a car like mine, the man can't shut it off. And
Right. Now that's a big concern actually, that they have these cars that can be remotely turned off. And
yeah,
this is 100% a I think it's a tool to control us. There's no question about it.
yeah. I mean, of course, any by any and all means possible, they want full control, and they want to create a system of which there's no going back. And I'm just not okay
Yeah.
with that because if you think about it on a sort of a higher level, without being micro focused on the goings on, okay, let's say hypothetically we're okay with elites doing whatever they want. Well, what are they doing? What's their plan? Where are we going? Elon's the only one that talks about anything kind of interesting, and it's like, I want to go to Mars. I'm like, cool story, bro. Like, how about we just make life not suck here?
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's true. It's like they have these extremes, right? Where it's like either we're going to go to Mars, and then we're also going to import uh, infinity Indians and Somalians to totally scam and destroy your country, right? And
Yeah.
there's no escaping that the people are recreating what they created in their homeland. It's not like we used to have some mystery. I'm going to bring this up just a second, something that I saw today on X, which was just such clear proof that you can take the Indian out of the garbage dump, but you cannot take the garbage dump out of the Indian. It's
Don't make me laugh at that. I'm supposed to be a real professional candidate right now.
hold on, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show everybody this because it's just like absolutely insane.
Hey, thanks for letting me look like a total dork tonight. Like I came in with my
Oh,
dirty hat, my jacket and
oh
stuff,
no,
and
it's totally
glasses.
fine, man. Nobody cares. That's the thing. They only really care about the way women look. So I can't ever come on
Ah,
looking like trash because they always slam me all the time.
yeah.
And so forget about it if I like just look like trash. Nobody's even going to listen to what I have to say, and I'm aware of that. And I'm just going to use my privilege as a female to get people to tune in just because they find me
Well,
mildly attractive.
yeah,
Which
that car I built, people are like, well, why'd you build a sports car? Because I'm like, because Western culture is dumb, and unless the car is like sexy, nobody's gonna care if it's the best
yeah.
thing since sliced bread. So it had to be cool.
So check this out, everyone. This was spotted in a Welsh beauty spot. So that's Wales, if I'm
Wow,
not totally retarded.
wow, yeah,
South Wales has a whole trail of debris. Okay. And this is new. So the Welsh people have been living in their environment for thousands of years, and everything was pristine. And this river now is full of total unhygienic trash.
it's like
This
India.
is exactly like, and let's see if we can find it because sometimes they don't show it. An Indian river full of trash. Like you guys, yeah, there we go. There we go. So it's literally what they do wherever they go. Here we go. Here's the river in Bangladesh, right? So they've shown us this. And so I don't know about you, Casey, but like I didn't really grow up thinking about different races and different cultures because I'm a child of the 90s. And that whole time, it's the post racialist, post culture, I, I guess, what do you want to say, philosophy or ideology. And we were
Yeah,
all raised believing like in this American identity that anyone could fit into.
yeah,
And this idea that being Western would be something that anybody could grow into with enough exposure and culture.
yeah,
And somehow in the back of our minds was this understanding that, oh, the people in India, their country look like that because something's going on in the land of India. And the people in Africa, they're starving because it's not the right environment in Africa, right? All of these things. And now we are seeing, it's like clear as from it, that the reason India looks like India is because of Indians. The reason Haiti looks like Haiti is because of Haitians. The reason Somalia looks like Somalia is because of Somalians. Therefore, if you bring these people en masse in a time when they can overwhelm the Native American population, they will recreate the exact same thing that they're trying to flee from.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Even Trump said it here recently. He said why something to the effect of like why bring in people from countries that can barely create a decent society or civilization, and I
And we get like, so there's people probably in these countries who are trying to do things right in their countries and they can't because they're surrounded by a bunch of people who want to throw trash in the river. So those people might do better by being in Britain or America. And that's really up to the native Britons and Americans if they want to extend that courtesy to them. But
yeah.
what will not help them is to bring them over and bring all of their relatives as well, who were the very reason they're trying to get out of where they came from.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I say it kind of tongue in cheek. I'm like, if we're going to have people come into the country, can we at least do it from a country that's built a decent sports car?
That's good. That's good.
Nobody gets on my case too hard for saying that.
Yeah, well, that would be the Italians, right?
Yeah, they just don't. They kind of rust. The Germans are pretty good. The English are okay. The French are hit and miss, but sometimes,
Sometimes they build
maybe we'll be nice to the Japanese.
Yeah. The Albanians
Yeah.
have not built a nice sports car, so we're out. Sorry
I think
about
you
that.
guys are working on a supercar right now. Somebody reached
Are
out
we?
to me a while back. Yeah, I think
don't know.
so. I think so.
I think we have always looked up to the Germans and what they're able to build, and we're just like, these guys are the masters, so we're just going to use their cars.
Fair. Well, the Germans took a turn back in the day on industrialization, and were like, let's not be in debt up to our eyeballs. Let's back our currency by labor and engineering, and then things kind of worked out for them in some ways.
Wow. Okay. So let's get into what the plan is with Vivek, right? So let's let everybody know, because there's a lot of misinformation online that you are like, one of the things we saw, we kind of cleared it up, but just so everybody's clear, was this idea that you were splitting the vote.
Yeah, that's not real.
Yeah. So a lot of
So-
people thought it's just an election. It's going to be you, Vivek, and what's the woman's name from the Democrats?
Amy Acton.
Amy Acton, who totally failed her.
She
state.
quit as a health director. She resigned.
Awesome. So they think that's what's happening right now, but that is not actually what's happening. There is a
Correct.
Republican primary in May. Is that correct?
Yeah, May 5th. May 5th. We're finishing
5th.
the petitions right now. That's not going to
What
be
does
a
that mean,
problem.
finishing the petitions?
We got to get a minimum of 1,000 signatures from Republican voters and such to petition for us to be on the ballot, and that's due
Ohio.
on.
Is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah, that's right. That's due on February 5th. So we're actually going to get double or more the signatures that we need, just so they can't,
Yeah.
pull some out and knock you out. And that's what's up. So it really, what's going on right now is just me versus Vivek, May 5th, Ohio
Okay.
primary. And the Republican primary is actually an open primary too, which means literally anybody can vote in it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. That's I didn't even realize that until there was a hardcore conservative grilling me on a podcast, and I didn't want to sound stupid, but he's like, "Are you gonna try to beat Vivek by bringing in Democrats to vote?" I'm thinking, like, can you do that? I didn't know you could do that. Maybe he if he doesn't want people to do that, why did you just tell how we could do that?
Yeah. Also, who cares, right?
I know, right? They've got their elections set up for their reason. That's a them problem. They don't like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so anybody can vote in that. May 5th. Me
That's
versus
good.
Vivek.
Okay, so if you guys are in Ohio, if you know people who are in Ohio, we should be posting about this. We should be amplifying Casey's platform. He's on X. I can pull up your handle here so everybody can follow you there, because I know we're all getting shadow banned right now. Thank you.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
That
I was
is
showing
real.
some of the analytics.
There's Casey's handle on X, so you guys should follow him. You should amplify him, retweet, repost, share it. Try to get this in front of people who are in Ohio, because unlike the other side, they bring in a bunch of immigrants to vote. So it has to be actual Americans.
Yeah, that's where I put old Trumpy. He said the West cannot mass import foreign cultures which have failed to ever build a successful society of their own. And because I say basically the same thing, but more, I said we shouldn't bring in people from countries that can't even build a decent sports car.
Yeah, and I don't understand why
Right?
this is controversial. This stuff is only controversial because we've all been brainwashed and psyoped
It's
by
true.
this non-stop Marxist liberal ideology where they try to deny every reality. They try to
Yeah.
deny the realities of sex, male and female. They try to deny the realities of different cultures. They try to say race doesn't exist, but then at the same time say we need to have these programs to boost minorities. Like, well, I thought that doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, I was first smacked in the face, but when I went to college in like 1999, is that the fall? Something like that. Yeah, in Ohio State. And it went from like, hey, I grew up in the 80s. Yes. I was a teenager in the 90s. Not bad. And then like 1999 rolled around and I'm just getting like, have like lefty art chicks going upside my head for being a privileged white male. And I'm like, what just happened? And then the
Yeah.
food became all toxic and everybody got fat. And I'm just like, what is happening? And so it's like the second, I became an adult man, like, yeah, everybody hated you, you know?
That is crazy. That's so crazy. Yeah, you're right, because it really wasn't this bad until like I want to say, actually, it was right after Obama. That's the truth. Obama
Okay.
did this.
Yeah, and it was still pretty cool in the 2000s. Like humor was still legal back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Obama's doing. Yeah, so everybody can follow Casey and amplify stuff. So we're going to clarify a couple questions. Vivek in the Republican primary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we know that they like to cheat with elections. So is your team thinking about how to monitor the voting process to make sure that the votes that people cast actually get counted and we don't get some kind of scam going on?
You know, that's I don't want to say it's beyond my pay scale, but that's a tricky one. And to be honest, I'm so darn busy with everybody and getting and people behind it and coming
Sure.
in that I haven't really had time to think about something that's largely out of my control.
Yep.
It may be the kind of thing where we want to, you know, promote perhaps like earlier ballots or something like that. Perhaps that would offset if there was some funny business going on.
Yep.
But to be perfectly honest, I haven't had the opportunity to think about that.
Yeah, so that's something I think would be good to delegate to your team. Would be having, I'm sure you guys are getting volunteers, people who want to help you win.
Oh yeah.
But there's also people who probably want to make sure that the election actually goes legit and will be monitors, you know?
Fair. Well, and this thing about the primary, just full disclosure, you know, the reason I said we're gonna get so many more signatures than the minimum is, you know, it's basically the entire establishment that's sold out to Vivek and money like that. So they're gonna do every trick in the world to ruin me and just keep us off the ballot and discredit along the whole way. So I think potential issues more so than cheating is just offsetting possibilities like that. You know, it's kind of ridiculous. Like Vivek, if I'm not mistaken, is currently undergoing RICO charges with Peter Thiel, and his body. Yeah, and his bodyguard just got arrested on federal drug trafficking charges with, I guess, fake OxyContin meth and fentanyl. You know, and all his bodyguards were non-licensed. But like me, I don't know, if I accidentally don't dot an I right, they'll probably haul me off, or at least that's the way it feels. So
Right.
we gotta be really mindful, you know.
Well, let's look at some of the things that he said, because I think that's some of the best evidence we have that we don't want this guy, you know? So here he is.
And to be fair, we've all said dumb things in our past. It's just that Vivek is really good about professionally doing it.
Well, yeah, but also he tries to justify it even after.
Oh, I know.
So
Oh, I know. Let's fire away. Let's watch the horror show.
here we go. Let's look at this.
You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy.
1 second.
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which actually fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours. But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. The reality is, I condemn vicious racial discrimination in this country, but the kind of vicious and systematic racial discrimination we see today is discrimination on the basis of race in a very different direction. You want to know what the best way is to end discrimination on the basis of race? Stop discriminating on the basis of race. Do that, we're going to move this country
I mean, he's
forward.
not even saying anything. Why doesn't he? So
Nothing.
See,
He's
when
like
they
an
say,
angry leftist.
all they ever say is like, "Do you condemn white supremacy?" And it's like, can you show me the country that lives under white supremacy, please?
Yeah,
Show me.
that's a good point. Where?
Show me the country where you're going to go criticizing white people. Show me the country where you're going to get penalized for discriminating against white people in your hiring process. Show
Yeah.
me. Because it doesn't exist, because Vivek's ethno-compatriots are coming here, right? And we just had this thing happen with FedEx, where the whole like upper C-suite of FedEx is a bunch of Indians now, and
Yeah.
they're firing all the white people there. So
Yeah,
show
you're
me
right.
what's happening.
No, you're actually right. I'm thinking about this, and I didn't think about that point till now, but that doesn't exist.
There's no country, and then here he is with the where he wants to say that there's no such thing as a heritage American, right? And then he said that everybody's lazy, everybody's stupid and lazy.
Yeah, I got things on the wall that speak otherwise to no such thing as heritage American.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm not a heritage American. I know that because I know where my ancestors come from.
Yeah,
You are a heritage American. You know that because you know that your ancestors have been in this country for generations.
that's true.
So if there was no such thing as a heritage American, then there wouldn't be this fight happening. Nobody would have a problem.
That's true too.
So it's a load of shit. Let's watch him say this bullshit he says here, because he's such a piece of crap, man. This is a guy who really makes my blood boil. Here we go.
I believe in being consistent about my policies where
So your father is not a citizen of the United States.
he's not.
Okay. And your mother, when did your mom take the citizenship test? Was it before or after you were born?
After I was born.
After you were born. Okay.
Uh-huh.
After years of being in this, following the legal process of becoming a naturalized citizen, she followed it through the legal process. And
So you gained citizenship through birthright then?
Well,
is that-
but you gain citizenship through birthright citizenship
No,
in that
she
sense
didn't.
too, right? I mean, every American. So what I want to do is revive a vision of citizenship where every kid who
Wait, I'm
enjoys.
sorry, just to backtrack. So your father is not a citizen, your
they
mother...
came to this country legally.
Oh,
I really want to debate him.
Consistent about my policies where
So your father is not a citizen of the United States?
he's not.
there we go. Yeah, he'll never debate you because what he's saying is indefensible.
Well, he's an angry little nerd, and these really arrogant, angry little top lofty nerds cannot handle it when somebody just sort of like blue collar military gives them crap intelligently. They just completely shut down and fold, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what Vivek's been doing.
Yeah, I think he's been sort of behind this protection where he's being protected by the money that's
Yeah.
putting him forward. So rather than actually go to toe with you on X, he resigned from X altogether.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is such a
I was just a
spoiled-
catalyst coming in. Yeah.
He's a spoiled little rich kid who, when the other kids refuse to bow down and worship him as king, he goes, I'm going to take all my rich toys and go home.
Yeah.
The other kids, if you're like a American kid, you kind of don't care because the spirit of what you're doing is about your friendship. And it doesn't matter if you have all the fancy toys or if you guys have a stick that you found outside. And
Yeah.
he doesn't get that. He doesn't
Yeah.
understand that. He'll never understand that because there is this class structure in India that is completely deeply embedded in his brain. And he wants to be on top. And he is very angry that we're not bowing down to his class structure.
Well, yeah, the funny thing is, there's a lot to be said for that because he's definitely a kid that didn't spend his time like riding BMX bikes around his town with his buddies and getting in fights and jumping creeks and starting fires, But the other thing too,
And as
it's
a bunch of Albanian immigrants, we did. So we're pretty
yeah, nice.
very
Actually,
good.
there's my BMX bike from when I was a kid right there. Yeah.
Oh, I would still have
restored
mine,
it.
but it was stolen by those neighborhood blacks.
Don't make me laugh at that.
No, don't.
So I'll fix you up a new one. How about that? I'll fix you up a new one.
He has worked with.
I didn't see. Don't be funny. You're gonna make me laugh at stuff before I realize what I'm laughing at. Yeah. So. All right, I'm laughing at this situation. So anyway.
That's right.
Damn it. To stop it, you should be.
Sorry about that. What we're talking about.
No, it's funny. It's funny. What were we talking about? Oh, Vivek. No, he's a nerd. And so the thing about it is, I look down at him. No matter how, it doesn't matter how much money he'll ever have, because you could light his money on fire and it still wouldn't keep him warm. The guy can't build anything. He can't make anything. He's not bettering anybody's lives. He's allegedly worth $2 billion. And what has he ever built a school? Has he ever helped anybody in Ohio? He doesn't even have any businesses in Ohio. He didn't go to college in Ohio. Like, I'm a third generation Ohio State. You know, that means something to us. This is a guy who simply doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't help anybody. And so he just goes on all his news hits, buys his way on podcasts, and gets shielded by the GOP because of the money. And then the next thing you know, it's like, well, the tail number to the airplane associated with him is ripping down from Cleveland to the Turk and Caicos Islands. Well, what are you doing down there, guy? We got nice beaches in America. And it's absurd. Like, the thing about it is, I think the reason we hate his leftist propaganda about basically saying if you don't like him that you're racist is because it's like, dude, you suck so much that no one even has to be racist to dislike you. There's plenty of reasons on your character and your work and what you do for everybody to not like you.
You know, what's really funny is that's kind of true across the board when people accuse you of being racist or anti whatever group they are. You go, actually, what I'm objecting to is your behavior. I'm not objecting to you being part of this group. I'm not objecting to you because you're part of this group. I'm objecting to you because you're behaving in a way that is asocial, detrimental to the society that I want to live in and the kind of life I want to have. And it's immoral, and we don't want you to be a leader. We don't want you to lead us. You know what's interesting is, like, Vivek's like the kid who got in late, because I think what happened was we had all these politicians for such a long time who were just so thoroughly corrupt. Many of them just regular ass white politicians, right? So this isn't even a... And they just were living these lavish lifestyles, making all this money, like going to Turks and Caicos and pretending to be representing the people, meanwhile selling all of our manufacturing company jobs overseas. And nobody could really quite figure out what was going on because we didn't have all the information that we have. And so they were able to do their and get away with it. And Vivek saw that and are like, I want to get in on it. But just like being born under the wrong star, he was born under the star that he should get into it when people were hip to what's going on. Mm-hmm. So now we're calling him out because we're aware of what's going on. And he's upset because he's like, well, I just watched all those white people get away with it. This must be a racial thing for why you don't want me to scam you. And it's like, no, we don't want anyone to scam us. That's where we're at.
Yeah, it's true. It's like there probably was a Saved by the Bell episode that he especially hated where, like, the rich spoiled kid with the things and whatnot, like, nobody wanted to hang out with him in the end because he was just a jerk and thought he was better than everybody. Like, does anybody know that? Was there an episode of one of the 80s or early 90s shows that he hated that was like that?
I'm pretty sure there was plenty of stuff like that where there'd be some rich kid who would come to town and then he would want to, get in with the kids, and the kids would just be like, no, we're not into this. And then he had to learn how to be a human being to be accepted by the group. And Vivek's like, he's refusing to do that.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to connect. I mean, what he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. And that I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, I didn't really worry about him when he was running for president because he's not going to become the president. And then he gets appointed to Doge. And I'm like, okay, whatever. They're going to do some serious work and save the country money, and that'll save the country. And then he just bounces or gets booted out, and now they're astroturfing him into Ohio. And every fiber of my being told me that was wrong. Like, this is not your consolation prize because you couldn't hack it there and they're trying to get rid of you and just stick you in a place. And it bothered me like deeply. And I started thinking about running back then and doing some strategy and kind of figuring out, do I have the kind of, shall we say, contrast to go up against him? And somebody I knew talked me out of it back when, saying, Vivek's not going to win. Vivek's not going to win. Don't worry about it. And, I believed him. And I go on about my life. And then things happen politically over the course of last year that I'm just like, this is not what we all signed up for. In general, I just didn't like a lot of things I was seeing. I sort of crashing out with my channel, just independently thinking. And then the Vivek thing kept going. And I think it was the time when Vivek started polling worse than the Democrat Amy Acton, who again resigned as health director. And that's who they want to put in charge of a state. But anyway, Trump endorses him a second time, like to try to save his campaign because now he's trailing the Democrat in a red state. And I just I couldn't take it anymore. And I say this and I absolutely mean it. My soul was burning. Like I could really feel it. And I gave a lot of consideration to, could I be happy in life if I didn't do this? Because, politics is horrific. They'll destroy you 11 ways to Sunday in every way possible. And especially if it's fun for them and it gives them new political leverage. So, you might as well go like skydiving without a parachute naked. I mean, it'd be about as safe. But I just didn't feel like I could be happy in life if I didn't do this, literally for the sake of our futures. Because, and I mentioned the things about the educational program, the school that I built, the 100-mile-a-gallon car, the watch company that I'm building. This is my prototype watch that meets NASA requirements. Yeah, that. Yeah, so, I showed you that. Yeah.
I'm going to take myself down.
Oh, you're cool. Yeah, so this is just a prototype to bang around, and I put a fancy band on it rather than the NATO strap, but this is my watchmaking desk. And I bring that up because, you work your whole life to try to make the world better with the educational program, fixing the way college was broken for you, getting people actual jobs from everywhere from Lockheed Martin to Tesla to GM and Ford, Marathon, and loads of startups and stuff, like serious jobs because of the program. And you build a car that has a lower environmental impact than an electric vehicle, but it works with infrastructure we actually have that people could afford. And there's just no support, no outlets for anything. Like today, J.D. Vance and Vivek were in Toledo, Ohio, probably within 10 miles from me, at some probably plant talking about how we did it, we're bringing stuff back. No, you're not. You haven't done squat. Like I could build a watch company here in Toledo or Dayton or Cleveland. I could build a car company here, but there's no avenue. There's no support whatsoever. And Vivek's basically just here to facilitate more data centers coming in, being slipped in under the cover of night to be shoved up our tailpipe. With tax abatements for 10 to 15 years, and we have to subsidize the cost of them through electricity and environmental concerns with all of our water in our aquifers, rivers, and lakes. And then of course the H-1B visa, which is a federal, but of course Vivek wants to import as many Indians as possible, so him and his family can be heroes to India, so they can just come in here and mooch off of our great land while destroying the job market for any young people that went to school and did it right. So when I hear somebody like Vivek, and honestly, Donald Trump said it too, and this enraged me. I'm like, I will go full metaphorical mag dump from the hip on this. There is no defense back. For the last 11 years, I've mentored the best and most driven, they got it in the heart and the head, young engineers and technical people, and gotten them unbelievable jobs. There's no effing support, nothing from the government. There's a program that directly parallels something that would support Genius Garage, and there's people that are paid salaries to go out and find an educational program for students of the same age range that I help, and they pay $7,000 a year minimum tuition for the students for 2 years, and they'll pay the first 6 months salary of their job, but the fine print that they don't tell you until the end is it's only for drug addicts and alcoholics and people born in extreme poverty and felons and stuff. And I'm like, these are the people that either can't work or don't want to work, and the state is dumping tons of money into it, but jack squat for our young people that actually want to do it. Meanwhile, we're letting H-1B Indians, which are 72% India, flood in to completely destroy the job market. So big corporations and billionaires can profit hundreds of millions of dollars more by paying people less, and then destroying the job market and creating competition that's not even fair for the young native people here. This is not a race leftist BS thing. This is just crap where we're completely selling out all the people, period. Everything we're pissed off about in government, everything that I see relating to Vivek is just selling us out, period.
You're 100% right on that, and that's something we never thought about. By the way, Sam Parker has just gotten into the studio, so we'll bring him up because I know he's like
Cool.
a big supporter of yours.
Very cool.
But this is something that, again, things that we never ask questions about, right? They'd always be like, oh, there's funding for felons and people who have had a hard time. It's like, why?
Yeah, why?
And okay, maybe we have that, but why don't we have an even bigger fund for people who are actually capable? Because don't you think rewarding people who are able and who are working hard is better for your country? So
Yeah.
here's the thing. You know, that scam with all those billions of dollars for Somalian daycares, right?
Oh, yeah.
So even though there weren't any kids, let's say there were kids, why didn't we have that for Native Americans? Why didn't we have that for like heritage Americans for their kids to be watched? Why
Yeah.
is that we should fund the Somalians? Why are we funding these people who breed indiscriminately, and then in order to continue going, they scam our system? This makes no sense. Let me bring up Sam, and I'll let you respond to that.
Cool.
Go ahead. Hey Sam, thanks for coming in. By the way, we can't
Hear you.
So you're gonna have to hold on.
I got it. How about now?
There we go.
Yeah. Sorry I'm coming in midstream here, but glad to be here. You know, it's interesting, you know, Leo, you just said something that made me think that, like, we don't even have America First criminals. Can we just have America First criminals? Like, is that too much to ask? You know, there's an old movie, you know, there's an old movie from my childhood called The Rocketeer. I
love The Rocketeer. I have the helmet upstairs.
So that's awesome.
That made me a nerd. I don't care. I like that movie.
There's this line in the finale of the movie where the gangster guy, I think he's played by what's his name, Paul something or other, and he said, and he plays a gangster that's being paid off by the bad guy Nazi, and he's like, and the Nazi's like, what do you care? I'm paying you. He's like, well, I might not make an honest buck, but I'm 100% American, and I don't work for no 2-bit Nazi. And even to this day, when I saw it as a kid, everybody in the theater erupted. Yeah, he's a criminal, but he's an American. You know, and so we have these Somalian daycares and whatever other foreign ethnicities are running these scams, being covered up and aided and facilitated by our own government, elements in our own government. And I'm like, hey, what about American crime? Can we get a little America First crime in here to help our kids? You know, what's wrong with that?
That's funny. You know, it's the head of the Ohio GOP, Alex Trianfilou. He put a post. I couldn't believe it. He said something to the effect of, like, it's amazing how much politics and organized crime look like each other or are similar. And he puts a picture of, I think, the Scarface dude, and I'm like, you're literally the head of the Ohio GOP and the guy endorsing Vivek, and you're literally comparing yourself to mobs right now. Like, I kind of feel like, do we have any 1930s mobsters to come help us take it back? Like, we need the Rocketeer mobster now.
I'm telling you, look at the Venn diagram overlap between organized crime and the government. It's like there's no overlap. It's like one circle now. It feels like it's just one circle. There's not like a little bit of overlap. It's like total overlap. You know?
Yeah, I'll if I ever do like a motorcycle rally, I'll wear my Rocketeer helmet just for you guys.
Right on.
I'll say this. You know, I feel like we are being gaslit on an epic level like never before. Like between people like Pam Bondi and J.D. Vance coming out and saying things like, oh yeah, we really got them now. We're bringing the manufacturing jobs. We're arresting these people, right? And they're saying these things that we can clearly see are not happening. Yeah. And they're telling us it is. So it's crazy making because we don't live exactly where these things are supposed to be happening, right? So we can't verify it for ourselves. The other crazy part is having people who are in the government complaining about the government like they're not the ones responsible for fixing it. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I would say that every major problem I've ever seen in my entire life since I was a little kid that screws up communities or people's lives or businesses, they're all problems created by the government, period.
Because as people, as Americans, what do Americans do naturally? Especially heritage Americans, the people who founded and built this country, what do they do naturally? They solve problems. Because if they don't, they die. You know,
Yep.
our forefathers came and it was a pristine wilderness, basically, right? And you had to be able to like survive by your own hand, by the strength of your own arm. And if you couldn't do it, you died. Or you went back to Europe. Like, you know, 50% of the European immigrants, you know, who came to America went back to Europe. People don't know that, but like 50% of them went back, sometimes even more. And so you had to be able to survive.
Yeah, that's why
So,
Europe is so soft now.
yeah,
That's
it's
why they're all
so
weak
yeah,
now.
this hardened Americans, like you had to be a hitter, right? You had to be able to sail across the ocean and survive. Then you had to be able to come here and survive. And you were a hitter. So you solved problems. That's what you did. That's what Americans naturally are bred to do, is just solve problems. That's it. Like, if you don't solve problems, you die. So, like, yeah,
Yes.
I agree with you. Most of our problems are now as a result of government, because Americans, when left to their own devices, we're just going to solve problems and do things and make stuff. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I got to show you this picture. So, a number of years ago, I sailed on the clipper ship Stad Amsterdam, which was an exact replica of the Cutty Sark from like 1869, which would have been the fastest ship of the tea trade. And so that's a picture I took when I was climbed out onto the bowsprit, which is pretty wild to do, to just step over the railing.
Well, that's the kind of boat you would have built instead of a race car back then, right? You would.
Yeah. But the thing of it is, I have to tell you, so, you know, it was November in the North Sea, which gets pretty treacherous. And I felt like the first night, I'm like, I'm going to die. Like, I'm on the back of this thing and it's bounding. The sound of all the rigging sounds like a jet is like landing over above you. And we're pulling these ropes on the back and bounding through the sea. And I felt like I was strapped to a giant Leviathan sea monster. And it was nuts. You know, of course, it's heeling way over. So we're walking through like this and such. And I remember attempting to sleep while I'm being just thrown from one side of the bed to the other. Like, there's like little walls I put, like high water walls on the bed so you don't get thrown out of bed. So I'm getting blasted around. And it sucks. But I was thinking to myself, this is nothing compared to the people hundreds of years ago that literally set sail for a new world and for America. And it just stuck with me at my core so much when I finally got back to land, because I sailed from Imhouden in Amsterdam to the English Channel, out Bay of Biscay down to Portugal. And we were back. I remember when I was done, I just remember going on Facebook and I just defriended a bunch of people that I thought were just like shallow people, because I couldn't handle it anymore. That kind of changed me, to be perfectly honest, thinking about that.
That's
What a great
awesome.
experience.
Hey, I just want to run and grab a water because I'm dehydrated. Let me go to a super chat that came in, and maybe you could tackle the question. It's about electric cars, Casey.
Cool.
Lou Zucon said the problem with electric cars are they're gay. They sound like cleats rolling down the street. I agree with you, Lou. Take that away.
Well, I've heard Fisker car, but they kind of go like George Jetson. I don't know what kind of things you're hearing that sounds like that. Yeah, my neighbor across the street, he's got a Tesla. He let me borrow the Model 3 rear-wheel drive with a full charge. We tested it against the Omega car. But you know, it's hard to argue with that statement, because they're just an appliance. Like, anybody can drive them. They're not interesting. They don't give you any reward. It's not fun. If I were single again, because like when I was single, I had my Dodge Viper when I drove around, and that was cool. It had a great stereo. It was cool. It was like rumbly and loud and fast, and I could power slide at will. And it was just rough and tumble. But I think I was just saying, Leonardo, like if this was like my single days back when, instead of driving a Dodge Viper, if I drove, because that was like my only car, and it was wrecked and I got a good deal on it. Anyway, if I was driving a Tesla, I don't think I would have been as successful at eventually getting married to an actual woman and having children.
No, you would have been married to like some trans Tifa lesbian who's happy that you're taking care of the environment. Let me just go through some of these super chats. By the way, guys, any super chats that get donated from this live stream are going to be donated to Casey's campaign. So, donate. This is a way to. And what's another way they can support you if they want to donate directly, Casey?
Best way is go on the website putsch4ohio.com. It's set up there. If you don't want to use the electronic interface platform, there is a place on there that you can PO box a check, which I think is Casey Putsch for Ohio, but there's instructions on there.
Let me add that to the stage so everybody can see it. There it is. That's what it looks like. Okay,
yeah, there's my wife.
Yeah, oh, that's great.
People always want to ask how they can help. And honestly, just as somebody who's run before, if everybody out there listening to this, the best way you can help Casey right now is give him money. That is the number one way you can help the Casey Putsch campaign, is give them money, because it fuels everything else. Literally everything.
True. Well, and it does take money to do this, and I don't get paid, but there's a way to look at it that I never thought of before. There's an actual ROI for the money you put in. Because just by virtue of us talking about this and showing the things, frankly, that are wrong with Vivek, if for no other reason by me being contrast to somebody who actually builds things and cares, it sets a new standard for politics. So regardless of how far I go, the money and the investment that we all put in, myself included, actually comes back to us. So this isn't a zero-sum game. So I just wanted to put that out there, because it does matter a lot, because we are literally making this happen with all the people.
Yep. Thank you. I agree with that. And also, let's just be serious for a second, okay? You guys waste $7 on a gay latte every day, okay? So you can take a little money and give it to somebody who's actually trying to do something, and you're giving to these charities to fund Africans who just want to come to Europe. How about we take that money and actually fund our own country so that we can have a stable society and the whole world doesn't go to shit? How about that?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my thing. Let's say thank you, Hey You, for the $10. Thank you, Dwayne Hartman, for the $20. We got Lou's question. Let's see. Why was Tom Atrium Alexandrovich allowed to return to home following his arrest in the U.S. on child predation charges? That's because he belongs to a special group of people who have been designated by the Lord himself as untouchable. Don't you guys get it? Sam, I'll let Sam take that. Casey, you could just keep your mouth shut on this.
I'm attempting. All right, I have to say, Leonardo is a funny person, and she can make somebody laugh saying almost anything, and I'm trying really not hard to laugh. Don't make me laugh.
Sam, take it away.
Well, listen, Tom Alexandrovich has something that in the movie business we would call plot armor. But it's unfortunately it's real life plot armor, right? Like he, nothing could touch him. Nothing could touch him. He's got protection of the law, international law, all sorts of forces that we don't have access to as regular Americans. These types of protections are only available to certain foreigners from certain countries in certain locations around the world. But if you point it out, you're a terrible person. And you deserve to have your life ruined and canceled if you point that out. But
or laugh, which I'm not going to do.
Yeah, right? He's not doing that.
Yeah, but it's obviously we all know the reason. We all know the reason. We all see what's going on here. Everybody sees what's going on. We all know, and this is the reality that we face. We are circling the Milky Way galaxy, right, on the arm of Orion or whatever, paying taxes to pedophiles and international criminals and gangsters.
If you guys want to feel a little bit better about the negative scenario relating to child predators, child traffickers, human traffickers, one of the first things that I plan to do is deputize a group of ex-special ops led by some friends of mine, specifically to target and hunt down human and child trafficking in Ohio. So Ohio becomes the most dangerous place on earth for child and human traffickers.
That's pretty awesome. That is
awesome.
Let's get to this from M. Suspartan, or Miss U.S. Parton 3085. I am still an immigrant, guys, so I can't read these funky words you come up with. Finally, a real American. I have watched many of your videos, including your launch video. What changes will you bring to Ohio that sets you apart from Vivek any other candidate? Good luck, and this is my first campaign donation. Thank you. I can't say your name. Thanks for the $50. I'll tell you what sets him apart from Vivek Ramaswamy. He's not Indian. That's enough for me.
There's more to it than that. No, I appreciate it. The biggest thing is like power back to the people from the government. Ohio's spending has increased to nearly $100 billion over the course of a year. It was about 50 back in 2011. A massive amount of that is Medicaid and Medicare. There's clearly an insane amount of waste and fraud happening throughout all over this. If you look at Mike DeWine with regard to the Somali fraud stuff, that's going to be big down here too, I'm certain. He said, and I quote, "It's the price of doing business." Seriously? Seriously?
Unbelievable.
So, one of it is homes. They have to be affordable again. And the biggest way to make them affordable is not by some idiot government program, but let's just stop corporations and private equity companies from being able to outcompete and buy up a ton of them in their portfolio and then artificially inflating the market by selling them for higher numbers to their buddies and such so they can inflate their portfolio. Then politicians are happy and don't say anything because they get to collect more property taxes. And then people don't say anything because they think they're worth more and they can go in debt more. It's all a bad slippery slope, whether it's that or education across the board. The Genius Grudge thing I was talking about, if you look at K through 12, it starts at the government. Why do we keep lowering standards for people? That just dehumanizes everybody. It doesn't matter if you're white or black. It's dehumanizing the lower standards. And then what you do is you start stressing out the teachers, and then somebody like Vivek is putting the stress on the teachers when it's like, hold on, man, these are our best resources. You gotta one, give them the breathing room and the support to actually be able to teach. And then also, you gotta have full transparency with what's happening in public schools. Because if you don't, that's when everybody freaks out when you start seeing radical agendas and political stuff coming in there, and then people are trying to hide it. And then it just becomes a mess. So the biggest change that comes with me is actual values, not just specifically tied into riding some coattails or being in a party that'll go anywhere. And that's just it, because I've been working my whole life to make things better. We can't anymore. Nobody can afford a home. It's a miracle we have a home, to be honest. My wife and I bought it 10 minutes before the housing market shot straight up in 2020, and the only reason we got it or could afford it is because it was dumb. And we did the work on it. So it was a year or more worth of hard work. The only thing I didn't do myself was the roof. I'm kind of afraid of heights. It's true. I like airplanes, but anyway, that was the only thing we didn't do. And I had a little help on pouring some concrete. But, young people can't afford homes anymore. And
I guarantee you, if we gave Vivek a hammer, he would look worse than, what was that guy who ran the gambling thing? You know who I'm talking about, Sam, right?
Yeah, Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, he
There's a
would
famous
look worse
video of
than
him
Dave
with this little hammer.
Portnoy. I guarantee you this girl can't even hang a picture frame. He's so feminine. It's unbelievable. I think part of the problem, and this is where I'm more controversial, is that we're sending too many idiots to school. Why are we trying to educate people who can't be educated and don't want to be frankly?
It's like Caddyshack. They said in Caddyshack, well, the world needs ditch diggers too.
Yeah, well, and you don't need a college degree to be a plumber. Sorry.
No, you don't. In fact, it's a good job. Like when I was in high school,
that might be what you're better at, and that you might actually enjoy than sitting there learning about Victorian literature. Why are we doing that?
Yeah, true. I was going to go to college after high school, but when I was in high school, I wanted to go to the vocational school, but they didn't let you because it was college prep, and I could have learned welding and machining and electrical and auto body. And honestly, if I just would have learned those things and not gone to college, I would have been better off. And it's crazy because, my college degree was kind of useless. So, industrial design, Center within Fine Arts, because that's what I want to do is design cars and whatnot. So, as an example with how broken our society is, I'm able to build a nonprofit educational program from the ground up, a school, get all the funding, everything to do that, build the curriculum, and directly mentor all the best engineering students, literally from around the country, and end up talking directly to CEOs of companies and stuff, and helping them get interviews and jobs and all. But I couldn't get a job engineering. Think how insane that is. I can build an entire school to train the best engineers and build a car that gets 100 miles a gallon, but I guarantee no company would hire me for education just because of my job record and what I went to school for.
It's
insane.
You could change your name to Hinduvata Patel, and that might change for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we got another question here. Thanks, Abdullah Sirai. Okay, I don't know why you're interested in this, but will Casey try to get Tom Alexandrovich extradited? I don't know that that's the Ohio governor's job.
Did that dude get arrested in like Vegas?
He
Yep.
did get arrested in Vegas.
That's the kitty diddler that got saved by that little country in the Mediterranean.
That's right.
Got it. Yeah, that's not an Ohio problem, and I'm not much interested in foreign
I don't
influence.
think you're empowered to do anything anyway.
Well, I told you I want to put together a ex-special ops task force to specifically target and hunt child traffickers and human traffickers. So probably not a good place for kitty diddlers here in the future.
It does bring to my mind that scene from The Dark Knight, the 2008 movie, Christian Bale, the sequel to Batman Begins, where
Yes.
where Batman goes and kidnaps the guy who's run off to a foreign country because the authorities can't do it. So
Oh yeah, I forgot about
is
that.
Putsch going to be our Batman? Is he going to go find these guys with this special forces gang under the radar and go find some of these guys?
Yeah,
That would be nice.
no answer, but if somebody calls in sick, I imagine there's somebody that can fill the spot.
Right on.
FB Liberal 5922 says, agree, brother, America first. I guarantee that was from something earlier. Thank you, FB Liberal. Let's go through some of these. Dandy Westman says, Casey Putsch, Ohio governor candidate for founding challenging the anti-white establishment Dems and GOP, who are backed by sellout billionaires and global anti-white oligarchs aiming to white erase our homeland. Yeah, I mean, it's undeniable. Even Elon Musk, who before wasn't really touching the subject of white erasure and white genocide, has been retweeting and talking about this. And recently you had that thing that happened with the rabbis who said it's the old Europeans. That's what they're even changing the language to erase the complete identity of Europeans. So now they have this language. The old Europeans are AKA the white Europeans. The new Europeans, now they're going to be new Europeans, all these immigrants who are coming into Europe, which nobody's buying, but this is the language of erasure. So for a group of people who have a lot to say about genocide, they seem to be very exuberant about committing one against the old Europeans.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about what you're saying down there too, it's not just white. I mean, you bring in a bunch of Indian H-1Bs and it's going to screw up like all the black students too that are here that have been in Ohio for generations. To be perfectly honest, it's absurd. I mean, it's.
You actually have seen some Black Americans speaking out against the Somalians and the Indians because they realize that they're being displaced. This is a real thing that's happening. Some of them are so brainwashed that they're actually campaigning for their own replacements, which is insane.
And that's happening on the Republican Party too, with the white conservatives. You know what's interesting about this case? And let me just
tell me.
I want you to respond to this. But under Obama was famous for pushing we're a fundamental transformation of America, and you had all the Christians and conservatives and Republicans in America just fighting him tooth and nail because he wants to fundamentally transform America. But now under Donald Trump, it's like. Let's bring in all these people legally, and now they're cheering for the transformation of America. And I just want to know, what do people even think America is? Is it just a shopping mall? Is it just borders on a map? How do you see America? What's America?
The thing that boggles my mind about the GOP, especially in Ohio, it's been completely bought out, by tech bros, basically. Tech bros that were all leftists before they decided to be right-wing in the last 5-10 years. So that's absurd. And the people that are, I don't even know right now, because right now the backlash is pretty profound. Because for everybody that was, voting for Donald to do Doge and stuff and bring America back to a semblance of just normality, well, we frankly didn't get that. And I think that's where the so-called split or the turmoil on the right has started. And the thing of it is, if you look at Vivek, there's nothing conservative about him. Nothing at all. And I don't want to be kind of unprofessional in this regard and say who, but Vivek doesn't even like guns of the Second Amendment at all, and that's a pretty key part of being conservative.
This is a common thing I've seen with foreigners and liberals. They don't like the Second Amendment and they don't like the First Amendment. They think they do, they say they do, but the way that they behave is exactly antithetical to that, because you will see that these groups are the ones who start clamoring for things like hate speech laws, for you to be arrested, for you to be deplatformed, whenever you say something they don't like. So it's never been more clear that if you want the American way of life, you have to preserve heritage Americans. Those values didn't arise anywhere else in the world for a reason. So you're not going to have free speech if you import a bunch of people who don't even understand the concept.
Well, true. And if, let's say, hypothetical, a Republican Party is completely bought out and nobody has the cojones to go against it, then there's no party left. And the other thing, too, is global interests and billionaire globalists, which it's like, do they have a home anywhere, or is their home just everywhere? Those kind of...
You're not supposed to call them rootless cosmopolitans. Whatever you do, don't call them rootless cosmopolitans.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I've heard that before, but anyway, the thing of it is, no, you think about it. It's like they don't have any roots anywhere. They don't care, and they want Ohio and all of America to be divided. They want everybody to beat down, because if that's the case, they can completely sell us out, and then they can just pillage all of us like a resource that they don't care about. And that's all there is to it. That's all Vivek is. He's just a globalist Trojan horse. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing conservative about him. There's nothing Ohio about him. The GOP has just shown they don't exist anymore because of it. And I got to be honest. Can I just have like a personal moment here of us like all like kind of looking at the craziness of the moment? Like, I'm a car guy. I'm an Ohio guy. Like, okay, I'm a little kooky. I do fun things, but I'm still pretty much a normie. How did it end up being that a car YouTuber ended up being the last stand in like America in 2026 to the globalists and the tech pros? I'm saying this now to probably make myself feel better because the level of risk that this is. But I feel like I'm like the last guy with everybody just standing going, no.
You know what I hope, Casey? I hope that you're not the last stand. I hope you're the first through the door. Now,
I appreciate that. They do say they say the second mouse gets the cheese, though, is the problem, right?
I was going to say there's a sacrifice to being the first through the door, but like, that's how I saw myself. I'm not trying to toot my horn.
Yeah.
But in 2018, when I ran, I knew that I had very little possibility of winning, and I had a lot of unpopular views. But like, the martyrs of Europe, the Christian martyrs of Europe who translated the Bible into English and were burned at the stake for it, these types of things. And then just a generation or two later, it was legal and fine, And so unfortunately, somebody does have to break the ground, be the first through the door, take the arrows, take the hits to make the future possible for people coming behind you. And I'm hoping you're the second through the door, but maybe you're the first through the door.
Well, and to be fair, I'm not the first. I mean, like Leonardo's been out here speaking like with big lady balls about lots of things before I ever grew a pair and started talking out about things. But in terms,
there was people doing it before me that I was looking up to.
Yeah.
Open the door. So that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping somebody else lit the torch, and they kept it lighting until somebody could show up to carry it. And that's what's been happening, and it is growing, and it is scary. Like, there's a lot to be gained by shutting up. That's the truth. There is a lot to be gained by shutting up. Yeah, on the personal end for yourself, right? But those of us who are speaking up are doing it because we're aware that the gain is nothing compared to what we are losing in the long run, losing for the future, and that the idea of living as a slave because it's convenient is disgusting and repulsive to us. That's why we're speaking up. We're not some I'll speak for myself. I'm not some superhero who was like, yeah, I'm immune. No, I'm totally vulnerable. I'm extremely vulnerable, and I'm aware of this. But the idea of shutting up and taking it is abhorrent to my soul. And I am hoping that it is abhorrent to other people's souls, and that if they can see that they are not alone, they will find the courage to poke their heads out of the sand and fight for what was given to us. Because other people fought for it. That's why we have it. And our duty is to uphold it and keep it going, not to fucking piss it away because we like, Uber Eats or whatever the hell we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you.
Lou Sunch, who said this is a Kalergi plan in action. You are correct.
Also, you had a super chat of a dude who said that he was inspired to sell his 1,000 horsepower something to buy his high school dream. Yeah, there it is.
So Andrew G.2165 said Casey was the inspiration for me to sell my 1,100 horsepower. You know what that is?
22. I'm guessing 2022 ZL1, and buy his childhood 1996 6-speed Z28 Camaro with T-tops.
This is. I'm so glad you guys are here because I have no idea what any of this means. But
car nerd stuff.
Yeah.
This is funny. Push it to the limit. Hey, the Dead Night Tiger. He might have a slogan for your campaign.
That's not bad. Actually, you know what my last name means in the dictionary, right?
We've gone through this.
Yeah.
It's this whole.
What's the exchange rate on pounds now? Because that's what's that? $12, $15, $20.
That's pretty good.
Maybe. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. It's no. I do think that me running and doing this, hopefully being relatable and people seeing that, especially going against Vivek, who's worth quite a lot of money and has all the endorsements, I think that will embolden other people to run for office because they can.
It should, because we can't wait for somebody to save us. It's not going to happen. Let me just go through these real quick. Lou Z. Cunt said, I'm finally...
I shouldn't laugh at this stuff.
I know. A vote for Vivek is a vote for the Hindu horde. That is correct. They still use Freestone cars in India. Thank you for that. I believe that. Let's see what else we got.
See, I'm not laughing at the content. I'm laughing at Leonardo. That's my excuse.
All I'm saying is I've never seen Aziz Ansari and Vivek in the same time. True that. Would Casey say he aligns with the stances and political leanings of Thomas Massey, limited government, individual liberties, and fiscal responsibility?
I mean, those things are all good. And, I see the big things that are happening with Thomas Massey, and I got to give him a lot of credit for what he's done. And he's stood steadfast in the face of adversity for things that matter. So I do have to give him a lot of credit for that. I don't know everything he's ever done. So I can't comment on that, but I'm glad he's around.
We're big Thomas Massey.
You know what reminds me of you? And actually, I thought this earlier. I was going to say it, and I didn't. When you talked about how you fixed up your house and did all this stuff, that made me think of Thomas Massey, because Thomas Massey, he's infamously, he's an engineer. He's built his house out. He told that story about how he replaced the hot water boiler at the jail.
Yeah.
To help the inmates, right? He's a very handy guy. Works with his hands, builds things, and you do remind me of that. Somebody who works with his hands, who builds things, and can get stuff done. It's not just a guy pushing paper around in a cubicle.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to do all the things you need if society breaks down. I could blacksmith stuff, ride horses, shoe horses. I mean, weld, build cars, carbon fiber, all that jazz. So, yeah, it's just, when I was a kid, we played with model cars and slot cars, and I would break stuff, and you had to learn how to fix it. My dad would work on his cars a bit, and, maybe it's the genes, so to speak, a little bit, that were more mechanically minded. But, when you're a little boy, you want cool cars, and you break them, you got to fix them. And if you want cooler cars, you can't afford it. Well, and you got to figure out how to fix it up. And like me, I'm a baller on a budget, so I buy stuff that rich people used up and don't want no more on the cheap and fix it up. So it's kind of how it is. A lot of people, frankly, my whole life will be like, "You're rich, shut up, trust fund baby," because of the cars I drive. And it's like, dude, that thing was wrecked. I bought it for nothing and fixed it up.
Yeah,
So
people don't
it-
understand that. That's that.
They don't get it.
Isn't that such a perfect metaphor too for the way people talk to Americans? Like, shut up! You live in this like rich country. Hi. When Americans came here, it was overrun by savages who hadn't built anything. So,
Well, you know,
Stop making me laugh at these things. All right, I'm laughing at it. You're funny, okay? You're
It's a good
funny.
story.
Go to her show. She's funny.
thank you.
there's an old American pioneer saying. This is it's pioneer saying, use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. And that is an American pioneer saying. I'll say it again: use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. And like when you said it, you made me think of that. Like, I bought it. If you want it, you build it, you make it, you fix it up, you make it do.
Yeah.
That is a classic American attitude and skill set right there, people.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Latrina Bidet, IRS in Froser, thank you for that. $10. Trump keeps talking and acting like the president doesn't run the country. This makes me wonder, does somebody else run the country? I think we all know. I think we all knows that somebody else
Stop it.
runs the country. I think we all knows that. Very much so. Okay.
Don't make me laugh.
Mr. Cat Attack, $2. Do you have your requisite Republican nomination signatures?
Yes. We already have enough clearing the minimum threshold, so we're just using the remaining time to get lots of extras.
Awesome.
It's simple. I mean, there's just tons of people. I mean, it's really awesome. It's heartwarming, and we're doing well.
Jimmy Bean says, I just think Leonardo beautiful. Oh, shut up. Because I don't like compliments. I can't keep saying your name, bro. I can't vote because I'm in California, but if you ever run for prez, I just might. That's dope. I think you have that.
Again, the money, when you give this guy money, there's a conversion ratio to votes in politics. There just is. And it's just the reality of it. And I'll say it so that Casey doesn't have to. The more money he makes or gets on this campaign and that he's able to deploy, the more votes he will get. So you can't vote, but you can give him money, and that will translate to votes.
Yeah, and just by virtue of being out here and talking, I generally consider it creating an ROI for good reasons.
Has anyone seen a small hat in a blue collar field? Yes, rarely, but it's happened. I have seen it. Yes.
Usually they I'm not gonna say it.
I have seen one, so you guys can do what you want with that. There was somebody else here. I can't show his comment.
Is gangsterism, is that a blue collar or white collar field?
What's that? What'd you say?
Gangster, is that blue collar or white collar?
Being gangster, that's a hard one.
Do you guys remember? This will probably get me in trouble too, but it's an '80s movie, so I feel I can get away with it. You remember Cannonball Run?
Oh, absolutely.
With like Burt Reynolds and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. and whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sammy Davis Jr. comes in like the betting ring. He wants to bet, and they got a Ferrari. And Dean Martin comes in. He's drunk, like he always is. And Sammy Davis Jr. puts a way bigger bet on them winning the Cannonball Run. And Sammy Davis Jr. is like, it's okay. I've got a secret weapon. And Dean Martin's like, what's your secret weapon? He's like, God is our co-pilot. And did he have a Star David like that? It was pretty hilarious. Like Sammy Davis Jr.
He did join the tribe in real life. So
Did he really?
He did.
But that doesn't count.
I did not know that.
That
It was
doesn't
just a
count.
funny moment of '80s.
That doesn't count, and everybody knows it doesn't count. So
Well, and that's funny because like in the movie when they did do the race, they dress up as Catholic priests.
Of course.
Because that was the joke that Dean Martin wanted to pick up the chicks in the Lamborghini, or so these women, but they were like Catholic priests. He's like, next time Methodist.
Hey, we got a Andrew G2165. I was on the fence for a while. I saw your clip with Tucker on CAN Bus. Is that cannabis? I don't know.
No, that's actually a system in cars that make them useless to be able to fix or work on. They suck. 100% agreed. Yeah, he agrees that it sucks too.
There's a different kind of charm in 90s cars to me, and I remember your videos with your old Viper GTS. So cool, I can personally thank you. Oh, yeah, all right. Well,
Still
thank
got
you.
it. I'm still fixing up my. This may be funny. I'm probably the only gubernatorial candidate with the level of cost and all this is, but like since I announced, I still haven't been able to finish servicing my 80s 944 Porsche, and I still have to put the timing belts on it. Actually, technically, I got them on now. I got to finish it. So like, I feel like this. I feel like this like broke poor guy that's gonna have to like hitchhike around Ohio to run for governor because I gotta finish my car.
We got an American Gearhead with like car with cars up on blocks in his front.
It's literally on jack stands right now in my garage. That can't say that, man.
That's as American as apple pie.
We got $10 from Age. Can anybody see that? I can't read what that
Age.
Okay, whatever. He had a following question that said, "Is he J-pilled?" Let's just say he's not getting any money from a certain group. So,
my car's still on jack stands.
So let's just say that, folks.
And it's it. I won't make any more. No jokes for me. My car's on jack stands.
There we go. Yeah. So no, that's the answer. I mean, yes, but yeah. Let's just all know what we're talking about without having to be explicit. Okay. Okay. Now. Oh yeah. So you have the signatures now. There was something else that we wanted to bring up. So one of the things that always kind of hinders people from supporting a candidate like yourself is he's not going to win anyway. He's not going to win anyway. Why are we doing this? There is a kind of black pill that has set in amongst the people in which they feel that there's no point to it because the powers that be are going to get what they want and they don't want you. So I have an answer to that, which I can get into, but I want to turn it over to you and to talk about this because I think this is a really important thing that we have to address that keeps people from mobilizing. And in a way, it's giving a victory to the other group without any fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nihilistic approach and it doesn't work because if we do that, then all government is just a cheap stage play that lets criminals and billionaires do whatever they want to us. So I understand how people can feel negative and downtrodden, but you got to realize we can still stand up and do something. Like, I'm a pretty normal car guy and a YouTuber, and I just saw the opportunity in the sense of like, this has to happen now, and I think I'm the guy to do it. And I put some people together, and we did it. And we kind of came in like a metaphorical airstrike under the radar. And, Vivek kind of likes to dig his own grave. And if you don't think we're having an impact already, I will remind you that Vivek quit X and Instagram because he couldn't take the heat.
That's crazy, by the way. That is so crazy that he rage quit Twitter and social media basically. That's insane.
He literally quit and he called it a toxic place. And I'm like, well, you're from India, so you would know about toxic places. But that's...
You didn't see me laughing. I'm not laughing.
Nobody saw that. And here's what I got to say to people, okay? I do have to say something to people around this, and I think it's going to be best shown by a very important video that's totally gone viral.
One of them caught our eye, the one in the center. He would neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
Why
But
indeed?
one of them caught our eye.
Why indeed? And here's what I'll say about this, which I think is super important for people to understand. Somebody wrote this great comment, and I thought it captured it perfectly, why this penguin video is going so viral, right? It says, the mountains in the edit do not symbolize just nature. It symbolizes an impossible feat that you must aspire to, that you must attack with your entire will, even if it's hopeless. The spirit of your ancestors flowing through your veins as you brave the icy journey as they braved theirs. That's what it's all about. And I will say, absolutely. Our ancestors faced hardships as well, that you would not be here if they had just given up. And we need to remember that even if it's hopeless, the spirit of everything that conspired for your existence urges you to do it anyway. And that penguin has I can't say it because I'll get you in trouble. It's got the spirit of the white man in him.
Okay, that I can laugh at, right?
You can laugh at that.
But more specifically, it's got the spirit of an American. That's what
I know, he does. Get it, penguin. Yes.
He's going to the mountains because he has to go to the mountains.
And I feel that.
Here we are.
Guy and that penguin.
We are doing this because we have to, because we cannot face a life of slavery, of an indefinite slavery for humanity. And that's really what's on the line.
Well, I'll give you a small example. So, all right, the ring I got on here, that was my grandfather's high school class ring from 1943 in Columbus, Ohio. I don't know what Vivek's family was doing in 1945, but in 1945, this was in Okinawa getting shot at. Wow. And there's a story where, like, my little Bible I got here, this is my grandfather's too, and it was a gift from his Sunday school teacher in 1933.
Amazing.
You know, and that he took with him too. And there's a story of spending the day in a cave polishing his bullets and reading his Bible, wondering how many of them he'd get before they got him, you know? And so that's just one of tons of stories from my family of like pivotal moments, you know, whether it's that or business or, you know, my great uncle about getting his ass shot off in an F4 Phantom. And what am I going to do? Just sit around and play with my cars and like mess around on YouTube and not try to push back the tide that is the globalist Trojan horse right now? Yeah, I think I'm going to do it.
You know, I want to say something. We sort of glossed over this earlier, and you know, when Leonardo said, "Well, you know, you're a white guy. What are his qualifications? What do you have that Vivek doesn't have?" And you know, we laughed at that and we chuckled at that. But I want to dig in on that just a little bit, because there's this idea that runs through Americans' heads now, especially because of Ronald Reagan, who famously said on more than one occasion that freedom isn't passed on in the bloodstream. You know, it's never more than one generation away, you know, from tyranny. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. And, you know, in one sense, he's correct. You know, we can lose freedom quickly, and specific freedoms aren't necessarily passed on in the bloodstream. But I do want to push back on that idea, because it was part of his overall, political philosophy that anybody can be an American. Anybody can come from anywhere in the world and be an American, and that's just not true. And so I'm going to push back on this idea that like freedom isn't passed on in the bloodstream, because our freedom is actually a system. Our freedoms that we have, that liberties that we enjoy, are the result of a political system that was developed over the course of centuries through the talents and the thinking and the culture and the mind of certain kinds of Europeans, right? And this system and their genius created this system that we enjoy. And so in a sense, actually, yeah, our freedom is passed on in the bloodstream, because not everybody has that mind, has that genius, has this way of thinking, has this cultural heritage, has this blood heritage that conceived this kind of system in the first place. And Vivek's people didn't do that. Vivek's people don't have that kind of mind and genius. They have the genius and a mind for other things. You know, you can argue what those things are, but they're capable of other things. They didn't create what our ancestors created. And so actually, yes, America is passed on in the bloodstream. That potential that you're talking about, your parents and grandparents and uncles and great grandparents, like, you know, that they inherited that in their blood from their ancestors, and they've passed it on to you, right? And you're passing it on, forming a chain of what an American is, what an American can be, what we can accomplish. And yeah, that's passed on in the bloodstream. I'm sorry, but the potential that you inherited from your ancestors can only be passed on through the bloodstream. It can't be taught in a book. It can't be like painted in a picture or coded on a piece of software. The accomplishments and the sum total of who your ancestors are and what molded them, all of that, they passed it on literally to you in your genes and your bloodstream. and it can't be replicated any other way. It simply has to be perpetuated, preserved, and passed on from you. And so, like, I don't want to, I think for me, it's a big deal that you are a white heritage American, because we put that label on it and maybe it sounds superficial, but what's actually underneath that is generations of accomplishment and sacrifice and work and genius and talent, generations been selected for that's embodied in you now. And and you have you have potential. Are you going to live up to it? Are any of us going to live up to it? But that's what we have inside of us.
I don't understand what's wrong with that. It's like it's been totally psyoped out of the American mindset that you should, it's so crazy because at the same time that they try to psyop us against having this preference for, like what you said, a white heritage American, they've also simultaneously bred in that we should have a preference for the foreign and the strange and that which is not American. And I'm like, well, wait a second. If we're not supposed to have a preference for this group, why does that mean that we should have a preference for this other group? That makes no sense. And no people, this is not even a radical position. This is what's so infuriating to me, is they try to sell it like you're an extremist if you think this way or you speak this way. When you can look at history, for the thousands of years that humans have existed on this planet, this has been the default. Actually, what's extreme is favoring a group that has nothing in common with you, that did not help build the society that you live in, that was probably at war with your ancestors. That's an extreme and radical and idiotic position. And frankly, I'm tired that we have to apologize and say, oh, I'm sorry, the white guy. F off. We are not apologizing for that, and we're not going to favor a bunch of Indians who come in and then favor their own groups and exclude white people from it. We tried this little experiment. We tried this little diversity experiment and favor the diverse group, and they turned around and stabbed us in the back. So done with the experiment. There's a reason our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our ancestors had their in-group preferences. We had to learn the hard way because we all fell to Marxist communist ideology that brainwashed us against our own instincts. But lesson learned. Lesson learned.
Well, the other thing, too, this is something I learned recently. So modern art kind of sucks. I don't know where you're at on that thinking. But
I agree with you. I thought it sucked for a long time. I remember in high school bringing it up to my teacher and bringing up Jackson Pollock, and I was like, "Oh, he just threw a bunch of stuff on a canvas." And
you ready for this?
No, they all knew the rules. They just broke them. No. And I'm like, well,
she's an idiot. I got something I learned on this. I don't know if you even knew this. So like Jackson Pollock, William de Kooning, loads of other things. I did a whole video on this. The artists, they didn't know it, but they were being funded by the CIA. This happened after World War II for like 20 years to push what I called tactical degenerate art, because it was like a soft push social war with the Soviets at the time, because they had their like socialist communist realism, and they wanted to push this like really loose art of like Pollock and William de Kooning and stuff for the say that we have all the societal freedom. But the crazy thing is the CIA messed with art so much back then, they kind of destroyed all art in the country. And now art skills still teach this. And it's like, why are you teaching this? Like literally all this art was indirectly funded by like Museum of the Modern Arts, which is a sucky museum in New York. Go to the Met if you want to see anything real. But like nobody, that's not even common knowledge that it was all funded by the CIA. It literally is all just crap to screw with Russia. And these idiots believe that it's something. It's not.
And now it's just a lot of money laundering.
That is the thing.
What it is. It's total money laundering. Yeah. Absolutely. Let me put up some more of these comments real quick.
The Congress for Cultural Freedom. Yeah.
Right.
Go Blue. Remember, we are under Noah-Hyde laws. Yeah, I didn't learn about Noah-Hyde laws until I think it was like 4 years ago, and I couldn't believe it. Noah-Hyde laws have been signed in to law by every single president. Was it since Reagan, Sam? Do you remember?
I'm not sure. I want to say it was George H.W. Bush that first implemented recognition for Noah-Hyde laws, but I could have that wrong.
And one of the first Noahide laws, by the way, the consequence for breaking the Noahide laws is beheading by guillotine, and there's something like the American government ordered a bunch of guillotines. A lot of people don't know about this.
Wait, what?
And,
really?
yeah. Oh, yeah. And here we go. And you guys,
it's the prohibition of idolatry. But
well, I'm going to show everybody this because I want everybody can come to their own conclusion about what this means. The 7 Noahide laws. Number 1, you do not worship idols. Belief in one God and the prohibition of idolatry. Who do you think they're targeting with that, guys?
Well, when was this? I'm not familiar with it.
I'll take a little dig. But
are you asking where the laws come from originally, or when they started to be recognized in the West? Like what do you?
Yeah, when they were in the States,
they
you
were
were
signed
mentioning.
in 1991. That was the original
H.W. Bush.
Noahide laws.
Really?
Signed in 1991, and every president since then has signed them into public law. By the way.
Really?
Wait. So it says the university of these principles and global import was recognized in 1982 by President Ronald Reagan when he spoke of the eternal validity of the 7 Noahide laws as a moral code for all of us, regardless of religious faith. That was on the National Day of Reflection on April 4th, 1982. 7 years later, in 1989, President George H.W. Bush not only proclaimed these biblical values are the foundation for civilized society, but he also recognized that a society that fails to recognize or adhere to them cannot endure. And then both the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States in 1991, on a unanimous bipartisan basis, they can't ever agree on anything, they agreed on this, further recognize how this historical tradition of ethical values and principles have been the bedrock of society from the dawn of civilization. And they were added to the U.S. Congress 1991 to 1992. So does anybody have any clue who would be in violation of the first Noahide law?
Yeah, did you want me to answer that?
I'm right over here.
I want you to answer that, Sam.
Yeah, so worship of Jesus Christ is considered idolatry to these
That's
people.
correct.
And of course, obviously, Muhammad and any other religion as well. So, but
no, Islam wouldn't be because they're worshiping one God. They do not commit idolatry because they don't allow any images.
That's true.
Right. And they're Muhammad is just a prophet.
But yeah,
this is solely
really
aimed at Christians. Yeah. It's aimed at Christians. It's a lot of stuff that people don't know about. But this one, and you guys can look into the whole thing about the purchase of the guillotines. I'll look into that. It's pretty spooky, actually. Because you're like, I thought we had a separation of church and state. Didn't you think we had separation of church and state?
Yeah, to some extent, but I think they did that back when with churches and stuff for the government to have more power over the church, didn't they?
I'm totally aware. I fully agree with you. I'm totally aware of that. But if you're going to say that we have the separation of church and state, how are you at the same time going to have the government declare something like this?
Yeah, I know. That's wild. I'm looking that up right now. I frankly didn't know about this.
The separation of church and state was to be able to sneak in a different church.
I'm fully aware of all of that. But the thing is, you can take a look at their own yourself.
I can't look it up on there.
Leonardo needs to do Anthony Cumia's show. You fit right in. Come to New Jersey. I'm working on coming to New Jersey. And Anthony Cumia, very funny guy. Leonardo, do you think changing who is in charge of the current system will actually solve our problems for good? When has that ever worked? I don't think you're ever going to solve your problems for good. I think there's always going to, as long as there is freedom, there's going to be people who want to enslave you. This is why slavery is an institution that's been ongoing from the beginning of time. And all these people who complain about slavery right now, they won't talk about the fact that slavery is happening literally right now in Africa and in the Middle East. Why don't they talk about that? That's because they're not really interested in freedom. They're just interested in using it as a whip against the white man to say this is why he's guilty and can never be trusted. They don't really care about slavery having ever existed. They truly don't. Because if they did, up in arms about the fact that their fellow Africans are being enslaved currently.
Well, let's bring it back to America. And we might have talked about this in our last space, Casey. I don't remember. But Americans actually basically don't start working from themselves until August. Like, for all the taxes, all the layered taxes that Americans have to pay, you work all year long, you don't actually start making $1 for yourself until August. So almost 2/3 of your blood, sweat, and tears, two-thirds of your output, 2/3 of your life force is just taken by the government.
Yeah, well, no,
how's
exactly.
that not kind of slavery? How's that not slavery? With the illusion.
You're exactly right. I know it sounds silly. I'm going to sound like an old man right now, but I was driving the car from a rally event yesterday late at night, and so I had to get gas. And I don't know, call me not healthy, but I got like a Red Bull and sweet tarts, and it ended up being like, I don't know, $8 to $10, and I'm thinking, we're dead. We're done. If candy and one like pop costs this much money, I don't understand how anybody's going to keep going. I don't get it. Plus, the other thing, let me just, I'm on a tangent here. So, if AI acts as like 40-50% of white collar jobs, how's that not an instantaneous depression? Great Depression? Because like white collar people can build anything. In cities and suburbia where you're not farming, you can't really do anything because now we have high population density. So our government is just rushing toward destroying jobs. Like, they're literally going to destroy society. We have no say in it. They're not leading us anywhere better. They're not creating anything better. And they damn well know that. Why are they doing it? It's because, they're going to come in and dictate how we live our lives, and we have universal basic income and digital ID and crap that we don't want. It's funny. More in the last year than my entire life, I've been like, maybe being Amish is not so bad. You know?
I know.
They don't pay taxes. They were able to defeat the IRS, and they don't have to pay
Really?
taxes. Yeah.
The Amish?
Yeah, go look into that.
That's pretty awesome.
But just really quick, since we talked about it,
I'm going to be Amish, but like, you can still have a Viper. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. No, it's just
Well, if you built it yourself.
Oh, can you do that, or is that like technology? It's too much technology or something?
Technology.
I don't know.
Technology,
Yeah.
but
this will resonate with you, Casey, because I know you're having some problems with your reach on Twitter. But I am so sick of every day Elon Musk getting online and saying talking about how he saved free speech and X is the future. And today or yesterday he was talking about universal high income, and I'm like, well, that's great, but you demonetized both my Twitter accounts. You deboosted both of them. You forcibly removed my check mark from another and removed my paid subscribers. So I'm a little not excited about your universal high income when, like, really you're just stealing from me on your own platform.
Just make it whatever you want it to be.
And I know that you're having some of those problems as well. So it's hard to take these people seriously.
Yeah, and I think, wasn't it Elon that said freedom of speech, not freedom of reach?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, I came from the ADL, but he adopted it from them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It is disappointing that, and I am having difficulty. There's anomalies popping up that clearly are not natural, and they're not natural, not in my favor. And the other thing, I got to point this out. So I noticed in the comments when I pointed those things out on X that it appears that I'm being artificially throttled in numerous ways. Somebody posted something that looks like they were looking in code to see what it was. And based upon everything from the comments to things I put out, it's calling me something nationalist, a right-wing nationalist. And I'm like, okay. I get what they're saying there, but it also kind of pisses me off because it's like, you bastards realize for the last 11 years, not getting paid, I've helped young people of like every background and different colors and presumably different sexualities, although it's not my business, to help them get jobs, just like because I thought they were, good kids that, I wanted to give a shot to help out. That's it. The left doesn't do anything to help. The right doesn't do any help, but like,
they complain and they cry about how they're all underprivileged, but they don't care. It's like a victim Olympics.
Well,
we're out here talking about how we got to save the white people in Europe, but yet on Twitter he bans and throttles and deboosts all the pro-white people. Like a lot.
Really?
That's what I'm
saying.
talking
Ava Vandergerd or whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's working with. Yeah.
Well, I don't get Elon. I mean, he seems all over the place. He's been doing a lot of this stuff like white replacement stuff of recent, but he's still super in favor of H-1Bs, and he's endorsing Vivek. So it's like, hey, man, like pick a side, I guess. Consistency, maybe.
That's what I'm talking about with this gaslighting. I think they figured out a new way to control us. And we're going to wrap it up here in 10 minutes. Sam, if you can hang out, I'm going to go to my website only, and we can continue the conversation about the scandal at the nightclub. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? We could talk about that when they played Kanye's No No.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about that. But Casey, you'll be free to go. I know you've got a lot of stuff going on, so I don't want to keep.
Nah, it's 11:21 at night.
Yeah.
I'm here, baby.
So we got Rod, 1984. Love you, Leonardo. Thank you.
Great year, great album. 1984. Great year, great album.
Thank you. Base, thank you. God bless our people. Correct. It's not the CIA as much as it is Mossad. They all work together, all of them. They're all controlled. Leonardo, if you could ask Christ himself a question, what would it be? Man, that's deep. I think if I came face to face with Christ, I wouldn't have any questions. Everything would be that's my question, and it's answered.
Christ is the answer. He's the ultimate answer. So
yeah, legitimately, that is it. I would be like, that would be my answer, because I'm a Christian, as everybody knows. I converted, but I'm not like solid. I have so many doubts all the time, and new things pop up all the time to make you question where you're at. So that would be the answer to my question. That would literally be it. But that's a good question, man. I should think about that. But I think that would be the answer. Dandy Westman, Indian becomes CEO of Dairy Queen, local Dairy Queen in 85% white town, staffed entirely by Indians. Everybody gets diarrhea. No, he didn't say that, but that's what happens. That's not colorblind meritocracy. It's white erasure. Vivek will do the same as Ohio government. Vote Putsch to end anti-whiteism in Ohio. Fully agree with you. This is the thing that I think white people got to get. And, part of it is because you guys don't have this strong ethnic identity. It's been erased from you guys. But like, everybody knows I'm Albanian, right? I'm first generation Albanian. So that cultural heritage is very strong with me. You cannot come in to the Albanian population, bring in a group, doesn't matter who they are, and say, these guys are Albanians. Everybody will just laugh at you, because we are very clear what an Albanian is. There's no question about it. So even if you brought Germans, who they love, Albanians love Germans. Everybody should just know this. They love their cars. They love everything they built. They built us a really nice road when they came in just momentarily in World War II. So everybody remembers who they are, okay? But they will tell you that's a German. They will absolutely tell you that's a German. It is only Western Europeans, namely of the Anglo-Saxon descendants in America, who have ever had the idea of a meritocracy. It is only them. And such a system can only exist for as long as those people run it. What you are learning is something that the rest of the world did not forget. Every other group, when they are given power, will favor their own group, because they do not have the foresight to think down the line that if I don't hire the best person for this job, the planes are going to fall out of the sky. They're like, well, that's somebody else's problem. They don't think that, hey, I might be on those planes. And the other problem that has happened is the same time that the Western European mind has forgotten that they're the only ones with the meritocracy, they have been shamed into against favoring their own people, even when they are the most qualified. So even when you have the Western European man who is clearly the most qualified for the job, because of this internalized hatred of yourself and your people, and wanting to prove to other people that you're not one of the bad ones, you will hire somebody who is not of your group to say, almost as if that's proof of a meritocracy, even though it's the opposite.
I'll say this along the lines of that. It was up until maybe like the 60s or 70s, at least, that the second language of Ohio was German. So the thought of us just importing unlimited H-1B visas to Ohio, which, let's be honest, they'll favor themselves and they don't care, and that's exactly what they do. And that's the same reason you get crime like of the Somalian or Haitian type things and everything going on. They're going to bring themselves in. And if Ohio's second language was largely German, well, that's the people that literally invented the automobile, the jet engine, and were the ones responsible for getting America to the moon.
I mean, yes.
And I'm not going to apologize for that. I don't care. I'll go on media tomorrow and be like, shove off.
This is literally denying reality, is having a huge cost on life, the quality of life, safety, and security. So nothing's going to change as long as we continue denying reality.
There's not a single place in the United States that I've been where, as the white population has gone down and the foreigner population has gone up, where that city or that place has gotten nicer and better.
No,
I don't know. I've been a lot of places. I've been to, I think, 43 states. I've been to 43 states, and I've not been to a single place that's better because of foreigners. As the white population, universally, as the white population goes down, things get worse. It's universal. I don't think maybe there's an exception, but even if there's exceptions, that's just like one or two out of thousands.
So what we're talking about is universal. It doesn't even just have to be, for instance, white people or America. Like, if I'm going to travel the world, if I'm going to go to Japan, you know what I want to see?
Japan.
Japanese people and Japanese culture. If I'm going to go to France, I want to be mistreated by cheese-eating French people. I don't want to see a bunch of Albanians.
I want to get back by.
If I'm or not, or like the Algerians, not Albanians. Algerians. Slap me. I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's late.
Albanians too. I don't want to go to France.
You know what I'm talking about? I meant Algerians. Sorry. So, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
I don't want to go to Albania and see a bunch of French people.
I don't. If I go to Saudi Arabia someday, right? I'm going to be respectful of their culture as a whitey coming in, but I want to go there and see their deal. I don't want to see a bunch of foreigners. If I go to Germany, I don't want to see a bunch of Muslims there. I want to go to the Christmas market, drink some hot mulled wine, and not get shanked. Okay.
Yeah.
If I go to England, I want crappy food. I want to see bad teeth and cars that rust. And whatever English things are charming, and I don't want to be there with what do they have in England now ruining the whole place? Everything but English. That's not even. I don't. Here's the thing about diversity: it just ruins everything. Because why can't people have their cultures in every of their homelands? Why can't every country be nationalist? The only people that want to be globalists are the billionaires that want to take advantage of literally every country. Right. It's true. It's true. If my Cam King gets mad at me for the truth, I don't care. It's true. If I travel the world to see things, I want to see that culture. I don't want to just see it all get mixed up and ruined. Okay? Because cultures are special. They're developed over hundreds of years and thousands of years. And I frankly don't like America just getting sold out, because the only people benefiting from us getting sold out are big corporations, billionaires that don't care about us, and then whatever third world country that comes in and takes advantage of the country they didn't care anything about. It's literally just the truth.
100%.
Yep, and that's why they're attacking us and coming up with names for us when we tell the truth, when none of that's real. Let me just read the final two super thanks we had. But did we really go to the moon, though? I will never knock a white man. Okay. And thanks to Sean Conway, 8065, for the $50 contribution to Casey's campaign. We're going to switch over to my website only. If you guys want to see this, because the stuff we're going to talk about would get me banned on YouTube. So I'm going to switch to my website platform. If you are a member, log into your membership. If you're not a member, become a member. Go to leonardoisfunny.com. Last but not least, let's remember to donate to Casey's campaign by going to Casey Putsch. Well, as actually putschforohio.com. So I'm going to pull that up here so everybody can see that. Putschforohio.com. Your contribution makes a difference. And just think about what you're spending on coffee made by trans Tifa when instead supporting a real life American hero.
Well,
What else you guys want to say?
And if you just go to the platform, you can see that is universally helpful for every single person in Ohio, period. So I understand that we don't like Vivek, but the truth of the matter is this is literally in the best interest of all the people of Ohio, period.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to have to fight a lot harder after this podcast, which is probably going to be fun because I'm feeling feisty and I'm just tired of crap. So all the idiot media that want to try to wreck me, or the GOP sellout losers for the globalists that Vivek represents, yeah, come and get me. I'm feeling feisty.
Yeah.
Do it.
Here we go.
No,
And
we
then,
have to force these fights and these conversations. Make them not be able to avoid these conversations. Now, they might be difficult for us. They might be pointed. They might be maybe unpopular, but they don't want to have these conversations at all. So let's force the issue. You know.
Steve Vaughn said, "I'm English first, British second, and I ain't never European. I will soon be a Pakistani."
Yes, I love it. I love that.
They know what a Pakistani is, right? All right, let me switch over so everybody knows. You guys can go to my website. I'm going to switch this over. Here we go.